Hey everyone, so today I'm going to turn this random street view into an anime drawing. So sit back and enjoy the video. I started doing this kind of random drawing a couple of years ago, and I even made a video about that. So basically how it works is that I will use a website that generates random street view places from around the globe, and whichever appears, that's what I'm going to draw. So I'm going to search for random street view websites on Google, and I'll choose this top website for now. There are some other websites that you can choose from, but I'll stick with this for now. So as you can see, we already got a random place generated for us upon visiting the website. So I'm not going to consider that because I haven't even started navigating the website yet. But what I'm going to do is I will press this next button to generate a new random location. And whatever place shows up, that's what I'm going to draw. Okay? So I'm going to press this next button and let's see what kind of place will it show up. This is a really nice place. Based on the details here, this place is called
Międzyrzecz.
Yeah, that's how it is pronounced. And according to Google, this is a town in Western Poland. I'll just look around here and see a different view of the location to somehow help me analyze and decide how to draw this. I think this view looks good, so I'll use this as my reference. And before I start doing any drawing, the first that I always do is to analyze the reference. So looking at this, I can see that this view utilizes linear perspective with the road leading into the background, which draws the viewer's eye into the scene. And because of that, it creates a sense of depth and movement. And I also like how the road curves a little bit, which adds to the visual interest of the composition. Another thing that I like about this view is that there is a good balance between natural and man-made elements. Like the tree on the right side is counterbalanced by the buildings on the left, and this creates a visual harmony. And the balance of shadow and light also helps divide the scene evenly. Also, I noticed that there is a nice contrast in texture between the old house on the left and the modern houses on the distance. And this contrast between the two adds depth and a sense of storytelling to the composition. I also think that the shape of the silhouette is quite good, though not perfect, but a little tweak on the actual drawing will make it even more stand out. Lastly, I like how the trees on the right and the row of houses on the left provide a sort of natural frame for the central part of the image. And this helps to direct the attention towards the center, keeping the viewer's focus within the image. So yeah, those are the things that I like about this view. But there are also things that I think need some improvements, and one of that is the lighting, which looks flat in this image, so I will make the lighting on the painting more dramatic to improve the mood and depth of the scene. I will also make the shadows more pronounced, and I will add more contrast between the light and dark areas to balance everything out. I also think that the composition of this image lacks a strong focal point. I mean, even though the perspective of the road naturally leads the eye inward, there's no single element that stands out. And so I will use bright and vivid colors for the house and the truck in the middle to create a strong focal point. And yeah, I think that's pretty much it. It's important for me to analyze the reference first so I can plan out everything from the beginning and to avoid any major changes along the way. And since I'm done analyzing, I'll start painting this. Sorry to interrupt you, but I just want to say thank you so much for staying until this part of the video. If you think this channel helped you in your art journey, I'd appreciate it so much if you'll consider subscribing to this channel, liking this video, and share this to your friends. Again, thank you so much, and let's get back to the video. I already made a rough sketch of the location and made it as close as possible to its actual appearance. So now I'll start coloring this. I will speed up the painting process, but if you want to learn how I approach an anime painting, I highly suggest to watch my video about that where I talk about my process and some tips and tricks on how to create an anime style illustration. Just click on the link here above to watch it. When it comes to using reference for a drawing, I often get asked if it's okay to change things when copying a reference. And my answer is always yes. Using a reference, whether it's a photo or even a real life place like a street view, helps us to learn and grow as an artist. It's our guide to understand the shapes, the light, the perspective, the color, and composition of a scene. But remember, it's only a guide and not a rule book. I think the beauty of art is that we don't have to follow everything exactly as it is. A reference is there to guide us, but the final work is up to us. Of course, it's important to respect the reference, and what I mean by that is that we appreciate the details that help guide our drawing, like the way the light shines, how the colors are working together in the scene, or the structures of the objects. But we don't have to copy it exactly. As an artist, we have our own creative freedom, and this is where our personal interpretation comes in. Our own perspective, our creativity, our art style, all of that matters. And as artists, we have the freedom to interpret a reference and shape it into something that speaks to us. For example, in this painting that I'm working on, the reference is a simple street scene, but as I look into it, I'm thinking about how I can use color, shape, and composition to tell a story or to convey a mood. I will not be bound by copying everything I see from the reference. I can change something here, like for example the broken walls from the buildings on the left side. I don't need to copy exactly how the cracks and the shape of the bricks look like. I can make my own variation while respecting the actual structure of the reference. The goal is not perfection, but rather expression. And I really believe that this is an important concept that can change how we approach our art. Because sometimes when we get caught up in trying to make every line, every shade, every detail as close as possible to the reference, we often lose something very important, and that is our own voice. When our goal is to express, it allows us to take what we see in the reference and translate it into our unique interpretation. When we're focused on expression, we are giving ourselves the freedom to make bold choices, whether it's changing colors or exaggerating forms, or even completely changing everything from the reference. It's about communicating what we feel rather than reproducing what we see. Now, you might be asking, why is it important? Why not just copy exactly what you see? Because it seems to be easier to follow something that is already there instead of creating something out of your own imagination, right? And that is a valid question. But for me, I believe that the more we allow ourselves to move away from copying exactly from the reference, the more we allow our creativity to flourish. And aside from that, it also helps us to be more confident in our work. Because the more freedom we give ourselves to explore and push beyond the reference, the more we will trust our own artistic judgment. So when you're working with a reference, please remember this. You have the freedom to make it in your own way. You can follow it as closely as you like, or you can let your imagination take over and transform it completely. The most important thing is that the final piece reflects your personal style, your vision, and your creative choices. So don't be afraid to make bold decisions, to change what you need, and to add your own creative flair. That's how you grow, right? That's how you develop your own unique style. And most importantly, that's how you keep the process fun and exciting. Anyways, I'm getting ahead of myself, and yeah, this painting is done and complete, and I'm quite satisfied with how it turned out. As you can see, I implemented the things that I mentioned earlier about how to improve the scene, like making the shadow more pronounced and using vivid and bright colors to the house and the truck to create a strong focal point, and increase the intensity of the lighting to add depth and visual interest to the scene. I also simplified some of the things here, like the buildings on the left, particularly the brick wall, and the details of the fence on the right. So yeah, this is what the original place looks like, and this is how I turned it into an anime style illustration. I hope you find something useful from this video, and if you did, please don't forget to subscribe and like this video. And also, I'm targeting to reach 10,000 subscribers this month, So I would really appreciate if you would share this video to someone you think would benefit from this kind of art content so we can grow this creative community together. Thank you so much for all the support to my channel. I really appreciate it, and I'll see you again on the next video. Take care.